After dinner, he'll go into a kitchen and say hello to everybody in the kitchen, and they're all stunned, and he's taking pictures. But what I loved about today was I loved listening to Donald Trump talk about how he was going to improve the economy.
Judge Jeanine Pirro, well known for her strong opinions and support for Donald Trump, just made huge waves with a live statement on her show. It wasn't her usual commentary, but something that really got people talking. Pirro, who's known for her bold style, stunned her audience with a revelation about confidential efforts to stop Trump from running for president again. What could this mean for Trump's future? Let's uncover the consequences of her words that are ripping apart the political world. Judge Jeanine's bond with Trump. Before delving into the specifics of what Judge Jeanine Pirro said during her bombshell revelation, it's crucial to understand the background of her relationship with Donald Trump and how that has shaped her role in the media. A former judge and district attorney, she has been a vocal supporter of Donald Trump since the early days of his political career. Her admiration for Trump is well documented, and it goes beyond mere political alignment. It is rooted in a personal connection and a shared perspective on what they both see as the battle against an entrenched political establishment. Before we delve into what Judge Jeanine revealed, it's clear that the truth behind her statement is far more explosive than anyone expected. And this won't be the only thing that will shock you. Since Trump announced his candidacy in 2015, she has been one of his most unwavering defenders in the media. Throughout his presidency, and even after, she has continued to support him, often taking aim at his critics in the media, Democratic Party, and even within his own party. She sees Trump as a fighter, someone who is willing to take on the establishment and challenge the norms of Washington, D.C. politics. Her weekly Fox News show, Justice with Judge Jeanine, has become a key platform for Trump supporters. Through fiery monologues and impassioned interviews, she has consistently echoed the sentiments of Trump's base, positioning herself as a voice for the people who feel left behind by the political elite. Over the years, her commentary has grown increasingly bold, reflecting the belief among many conservatives that Trump has been the victim of unfair attacks by both political rivals and the mainstream media. Understanding this context is essential to appreciating the weight of her recent bombshell revelation. She is not just any commentator. She is someone who has been deeply invested in Trump's political rise, and her words carry significant influence among his supporters. Her decision to go public with claims about efforts to stop Trump from running in 2024 represents a calculated move that speaks to the broader tensions within the Republican Party and American politics as a whole. The specific moment that set off a flurry of reactions came during a live segment on her Fox News show. Known for her fiery rhetoric and no-nonsense approach, Judge Jeanine decided to go beyond the usual commentary about the state of American politics. She dropped what many are calling a bombshell revelation regarding behind-the-scenes efforts to prevent Donald Trump from running for president again in the 2024 election. In her statement, she claimed that she had received insider information indicating that not only Trump's political opponents in the Democratic Party were working against him, but that key figures within the Republican Party were also involved in a concerted effort to stop him. According to her, these efforts are not just part of the typical political jockeying that happens in any election cycle, but are part of a more sinister, well-organized campaign designed to derail Trump's political future before it even begins. What made her statement particularly shocking was the insinuation that members of Trump's own party, the GOP, were involved in this effort. While she did not name specific individuals, she suggested that there were powerful players within the Republican establishment who feared Trump's return to power and were actively working to ensure that he would not be the Republican nominee in 2024. Her words carried the implication that these actions were not just political strategy, but a betrayal of Trump by his own party, and by extension, a betrayal of the millions of voters who continue to support him. She framed this as an attack on democracy itself, suggesting that these efforts to prevent Trump from running were part of a broader attempt to silence the voice of the people. To her, Trump represents the will of a significant portion of the American electorate, and any effort to block his candidacy is tantamount to undermining the democratic process. This idea resonated deeply with Trump supporters, many of whom have long believed that the former president has been unfairly targeted by political opponents and an entrenched elite who fear his populist message. With her shocking statement still fresh, let's dive into how Trump's biggest supporters are responding. The bombshell that shook Trump's fans. Almost immediately after Judge Jeanine Pirro made her bombshell statement, the reaction from Trump's supporters was both swift and enthusiastic. For many of those who have stood by Trump through thick and thin, her revelation was a confirmation of what they had suspected all along, that there is a concerted effort among political elites to stop Donald Trump from returning to power. Social media platforms lit up with messages of support, as hashtags like #Trump2024 and #Justice4Trump began trending across Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms. For Trump's most loyal base, this was more than just political theater. Her comments validated their deeply held belief that Trump has been the target of a vast, ongoing conspiracy to prevent him from reclaiming the presidency. This belief had already been fueled by the numerous legal challenges and investigations that Trump has faced since leaving office, as well as the widespread media criticism of his policies and personal conduct. Her words fit neatly into this narrative, giving his supporters another reason to rally behind their candidate. The idea that there are forces within both the Democratic and Republican parties working to block Trump from running for president struck a chord with his supporters. Many of them have long viewed Trump as a political outsider who is willing to take on the establishment, and her bombshell seemed to confirm that the establishment was afraid of him. This perception has only strengthened Trump's appeal among his base, who see him as a fighter standing up for ordinary Americans against a corrupt and self-serving political class. For Trump supporters, her revelation was more than just another talking point. It was a call to action. On social media and in online forums, many of Trump's backers called for him to announce his candidacy for 2024 as soon as possible, urging him to defy the forces that were allegedly working against him. Others vowed to support Trump no matter what, promising to vote for him whether or not he was the official Republican nominee. The passion and dedication of Trump's supporters were on full display in the wake of her comments, underscoring the former president's continued influence in American politics. While her bombshell was met with enthusiasm from Trump's base, it was met with skepticism and in some cases outright dismissal from critics and political opponents. Almost immediately after her comments went viral, liberal commentators, Democratic politicians, and members of the mainstream media began to push back against her claims, accusing her of spreading baseless conspiracy theories designed to stoke fear and anger among Trump's supporters. Many of her critics pointed out that she did not provide any specific evidence to support her claims. She did not name the individuals within the Republican Party who were allegedly involved in the effort to block Trump from running, nor did she offer any concrete proof that such a conspiracy existed. For those on the left, her bombshell was little more than an attempt to rile up Trump's base and keep him in the political spotlight, despite the fact that he had not yet officially announced a 2024 run. Mainstream media outlets also took aim at her comments, with some pundits accusing her of engaging in reckless and irresponsible rhetoric. They argued that her claims were part of a larger pattern among conservative media figures to cast doubt on the integrity of the political process, a tactic that has been used repeatedly by Trump and his allies since the 2020 election. Some critics went so far as to say that her comments were dangerous, as they could further erode trust in the electoral system and lead to increased political polarization and unrest. Despite the backlash, she did not back down from her statements. In fact, she doubled down, insisting that her sources were credible and that she was simply reporting on the information she had received. Her supporters echoed this sentiment, arguing that the media had long ignored or downplayed the ways in which Trump had been unfairly targeted by political elites. They saw the criticism of her as yet another example of the mainstream media attempting to silence voices that challenge the status quo. With everyone talking, what comes next could change Trump's political plans in a huge way. Trump's next move after hot news. One of the most significant aspects of Judge Jeanine Pirro's bombshell is the potential impact it could have on Donald Trump's political future. Although Trump has not officially announced his candidacy for the 2024 election, he has repeatedly hinted that he is seriously considering another run for the presidency. Her comments have reignited speculation about whether Trump will run, and if so, what obstacles he might face along the way. For Trump and his supporters, her revelation likely serves as both a warning and a motivator. On the one hand, the idea that there are forces within the Republican Party working to prevent Trump from running could be seen as a significant challenge. If there is indeed a concerted effort to block him, Trump may find it difficult to secure the party's nomination, especially if key figures within the GOP are involved in the effort. On the other hand, her comments also provide Trump with an opportunity to once again position himself as the ultimate outsider, someone who is fighting not only against the Democratic establishment, but also against the entrenched interests within his own party. This narrative has always been central to Trump's appeal, and her bombshell plays directly into it. By framing himself as the victim of a political conspiracy, Trump can energize his base and strengthen his standing among voters who are disillusioned with the Republican establishment. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Judge Jeanine Pirro's bombshell is the suggestion that members of the Republican Party are actively working against Donald Trump. While it is no news that Trump has had a complicated relationship with the GOP establishment, the idea that there is a coordinated effort within the party to block him from running in 2024 is a new and significant development. Since Trump's rise to political prominence, he has reshaped the Republican Party in many ways. His populist, nationalist message has attracted millions of new voters to the party, particularly among working-class Americans who feel that the traditional Republican establishment has failed to address their needs. However, Trump's leadership style and his willingness to challenge party norms have also alienated some members of the GOP, particularly those who identify with the more traditional establishment wing of the party. Her comments suggest that these tensions within the Republican Party have not gone away and may in fact be intensifying as the 2024 election approaches. If there are indeed powerful figures within the GOP who are working to prevent Trump from running, it could lead to a significant rift within the party. On one side, there are Trump's loyal supporters who see him as the true leader of the Republican Party and the rightful standard-bearer for the 2024 election. On the other side, there are those within the party who may view Trump as too polarizing or too risky to lead the GOP into the next election cycle. Beyond the immediate impact on Donald Trump and the Republican Party, her bombshell has broader implications for the state of American democracy. Her comments tap into a larger narrative about political corruption, elitism, and the idea that the political system is rigged against outsiders like Trump. This narrative has been a central theme of Trump's political brand since his first run for office, and it continues to resonate with a significant portion of the American electorate. Her comments about efforts to block Trump from running in 2024 raise important questions about the transparency and fairness of the political process. If there are indeed behind-the-scenes efforts to prevent a candidate from running, what does that say about the health of American democracy? Is the political system truly open to outsiders? Or is it controlled by an elite class that seeks to maintain its power by any means necessary? These are not new questions, but her bombshell has brought them back to the forefront of the political conversation. For Trump's supporters, the idea that there are hidden efforts to block his candidacy is further evidence that the political system is corrupt and in need of reform. For Trump's critics, however, her comments are seen as little more than an attempt to stoke division and distrust in the electoral system. As the pressure grows, it's clear that her big claim is just the beginning of what's coming next for Trump's future. Jeanine's claim rocks politics. Either way, the conversation sparked by Pirro's bombshell is likely to continue as the 2024 election approaches. Whether or not her claims are proven true, they have already had a significant impact on the political discourse, fueling debates about the role of political elites, the future of the Republican Party, and the state of democracy in the United States. Judge Jeanine Pirro has long been a central figure in conservative media, and her bombshell revelation about efforts to block Donald Trump from running in 2024 has only solidified her position as one of the most influential voices in the movement. As a staunch defender of Trump and a vocal critic of his opponents, she has built a loyal following among conservative viewers who see her as a truth-teller in a media landscape that they believe is biased against their views. Her influence extends beyond her television show. She is a frequent guest on other conservative media outlets, and her opinions are often shared and amplified by other prominent figures in the conservative movement. Her willingness to take bold, controversial stances has earned her both praise and criticism, but it has also ensured that she remains a key player in the ongoing political battle surrounding Donald Trump and the future of the Republican Party. As the 2024 election approaches, It is likely that she will continue to play a significant role in shaping the narrative around Trump's candidacy and the broader political landscape. Whether through her television show, social media, or other platforms, she will undoubtedly continue to use her voice to defend Trump and challenge those who seek to block his return to the White House. Her recent statement about efforts to stop Donald Trump from running in the 2024 election has stirred up a lot of political talk. Her comments have reignited discussions about Trump's future, suggesting there may be divisions within the Republican Party and raising questions about the fairness of the American political system. Whether you agree with her or not, what she said has people paying attention, and it has already created waves in the political world. For Trump's supporters, her statement feels like a warning. They see it as proof that powerful people are still working against Trump, trying to prevent him from running again. To them, this is not surprising, as they feel Trump has faced opposition from the political establishment for years. Her words are a reminder to his supporters that the fight for Trump's place in politics is far from over. They see this as yet another challenge to overcome and believe that Trump's political opponents will keep trying to stop him, even as the next election draws closer. On the other hand, Trump's critics see her comments as a sign of the deep divides that still exist in the United States. They believe that Trump's influence continues to stir up controversy and conflict, making it difficult for the country to move forward. For them, the discussion about Trump's possible return to politics is a reminder of how divided the nation has become, with passionate supporters on both sides. These divisions have shaped much of the political landscape in recent years, and they will likely continue to do so as the 2024 election approaches. The topic of whether or not Trump should run again is not just a question for Republicans. It has become a national debate, with people from all political backgrounds weighing in on the issue. Her remarks have added fuel to this ongoing conversation, making it clear that the decision about Trump's future is going to be a major factor in the upcoming election. Whether he runs or not, his influence on American politics is still strong, and her comments have only made that more obvious. As more people discuss her revelation, it becomes clear that the fight over Trump's political future is not going to end anytime soon. The 2024 election is shaping up to be one of the most important elections in recent history, with Trump playing a central role in the debates and discussions. Even if her claims aren't proven true, they have already had a big impact on the way people are thinking about the next election. Is Judge Jeanine revealing the truth about a hidden agenda against Trump, or is this just political drama? Tell us what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.